The other man with the vice-captain next to his name is Kade Simpson, and he's joined us for a bit of a look at the Carlton season coming up. Good on you, Kade. Thanks for your time, mate.
No, thanks for having me, guys.
Can you just feel the temperature rising around Princes Park a little bit, Kade?
Yeah, the boys have definitely got itchy feet. It's been a long and hard pre-season, so yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
Kade, what about you? When you got the news that you're going to be co-captain, vice-captain, how did you take that news? Were you disappointed that you weren't given the top job, or was it just a proud moment for you to be recognised as one of the three leaders?
Yeah, just really proud, actually. I sort of, in my own head, I always thought Mark or Andrew would get the nod ahead of me. So just to be sort of put up in the running with those two guys was a big thrill for me. And yeah, to be joint vice captains with Andy under Mark's, yeah, just a great honour.
We haven't asked the most important question first. Can we get a beard update, please?
Yeah, it's thick and lush. It's going well.
Lustrous. Yeah, it was certainly dark. Did the Mustafa nickname catch on at all or not?
I've got a few nicknames, probably not too many I can say on air, but yeah, it's definitely dark and black.
Look, I guess after the NAB Cup Grand Final, I mean, I saw you guys play a couple of intra-club games, thought you were pretty impressive, thought the early NAB Cup was impressive. That night, I think it's fair to say, wasn't that impressive. And the message seemed to be, we've got a bit of work to do. What are the specific areas you guys have been working on since that, what was it, a fortnight ago nearly?
Well, obviously they scored pretty easily against us, so we obviously had a look at the way they kicked their goals. So we want to tighten up our defence, and obviously our ball movement going forward was pretty ordinary. We sort of just bombed it in and sat it on our big forwards' heads. We didn't really give them a chance to run and jump at the ball. So those sort of two areas are probably the way we've looked at the last week and a bit.
Kade, what about the build-up to this Thursday night? You've been involved in the last 3 or 4 of these big opening rounds, and for Victoria, it's our first game we're going to be able to see live. The build-up for the Ben Cousins game was enormous. You smacked them all over the park. You've smacked them just about every time you've gone about in the last month, last 4 games anyway. Is this build-up different to the last couple of years? Is there less hype this time because it is almost the second week of footy, considering those games on the weekend?
Yeah, probably is a bit less than usual, but I think it's probably been as even as it has been for the last 4 or 5 years. They've had a great pre-season. They were probably stiff not to make the grand finals. They were only losing, I think, 1 game by a point. So they've had a great pre-season. I think everyone knows their midfield and their forwards and stuff, they're improving as they get more games under their belt. So yeah, I know it probably hasn't been built up in the media a bit, but I know both teams are going to be red hot on Thursday night. Do
you reckon one other difference might be that we've become used to the weight of expectation on them? I mean, I remember the Cousins game, 4 or 5 years ago now, and every year seems to have been a big test for Richmond. But in some ways, because of the arrival of Mick Malthouse and I guess you guys needing to atone for last year, there's a fair bit of expectation on you blokes as well. I sort of feel like you're both under equal pressure in some regards. Is that fair enough, do you think?
Yeah, I've got no doubt. I think both teams' supporters would expect us to make finals. So obviously, yeah, we were very disappointed in our performance last year, not making finals, and obviously Richmond haven't made finals for quite a few years. So I know they're looking to get into the 8, and obviously we are as well. So the pressure's going to be on. You obviously have to win early games if you want to make the 8. So whoever does win is going to get off to a good start and probably set up their season.
And look, just a couple on Jared Waite. We seem to talk about him a lot. I mean, I gather he's pretty much been ruled out for this week. Do you think the Carlton forward structure will have as much dependence upon him now as it has in the last couple of years? And if he is definitely out for this week, when can we see him back?
Yeah, he has been ruled out for this week, but I know he's up and running now. So just with Wadey, you don't want to risk him because he is so important to us. So I think they'll give him every bit of time he needs, but could be round 2, could be round 3, so I'm not sure. But I think the young guys that are coming through with Levi Casbolt and Sam Rowe, Sean Hampson, I'm really excited the way they've been gone about it this pre-season. I know I've got full confidence when I'm going kicking the ball forward that I'm going to get a good contest from those big guys. And when you got guys like Eddie Betts and Jeffrey Gartlett at their feet, I think we've got a bit of scoring power up there, and probably a bit unpredictable to a lot of sides because you're showing Andrew Walker as well. You've sort of got 4 or 5 options up there.
Cade, Mick Malthouse is your new coach, and I'm sure there's going to be different strategies involved. He wants you to play a certain way. Will that particular way be more taxing than it was last year on your fitness?
Sorry, I just missed that bit.
Would the way he wants you to play this year, is it going to be more taxing on you guys, fitness-wise?
I'm not sure yet. It's hard to judge, seeing we had the 80 rotations during the NAB Cup, so it's obviously a lot more taxing that way. But we'll see. We'll see this Thursday night with the more rotations and stuff. You'll get still a bit of a blow, but we definitely want to improve on our defence from last year. And if guys aren't working defensively and working hard enough that way, I know they won't be getting a game. So I'm sure guys are going to be putting their foot forward in that aspect.
Okay, what's the one thing different to Brett Ratton that Mick does?
Not a whole lot. I think all senior coaches are pretty similar. I've had 3 now, and they've all had sort of a lot of similarities, and all have their minor differences. But game plan is probably not too much different. There's obviously different terminology, but other than that, it's not a lot different.
I wanted to ask you about the game plan, the Malthouse game plan at Carlton compared to Collingwood. I mean, you would have seen plenty of that as an opposition. Do you feel like you guys are playing the same way that the Collingwood Malthouse played? Or why I ask is I just wondered if perhaps Carlton was a little bit more inclined to bring the ball in earlier than Malthouse's Collingwood sides did.
I know when Mick talks, when he speaks about some aspects, you're like, oh yeah, I can picture Collingwood doing that a few years ago. But there's obviously a few changes, and it's not that he wants to go to the boundary line all the time. If there's something on through the corridor, we're going to try and hit that. But if you're under pressure and stuff, we just want to sort of release to our get-out targets, like a lot of teams, I suppose. So probably not a lot different, but he definitely would have brought a few things over that Collingwood did, and then added a few things to suit our players as well.
Kate, how excited are you about Thursday night? And I know it's probably a silly question, but are you on the excitement scale? Are you 10 out of 10, or are you just playing it low until you get to Thursday?
No, I've played the game about 4 times in my head already the last few days. So,
Did you win?
Yeah, I had 35 and kicked 6. I'm just itching to get out. Every pre-season these days, they just get longer and harder. So to get to round 1 and the body's feeling good, I'm just itching to get out there and see what we can do.
Last one for me. Is Matthew Cruz a ruckman or a forward?
It's a ruckman. He's follow-up work. I'd be second to none, I reckon, as a ruckman. And I think he's had actually a really good pre-season. His follow-up work, and he's actually getting his hands on the ball. So hopefully our mids can get to the right spots and get a few clearances this week.
That's an important debate too, Ox, that one about the ruck and forward setup. Where's Warnock at right at the moment, Cade? Because
he's feeling sick after that comment.
Well, I think there's a view that Warnock is maybe the most technically adept of the ruckman, and I was hearing that Mick was quite keen to develop Cruiser as a forward. Has that changed?
No, I'm not sure. I don't know. Robbie played in the Pracky match last week, but he's full training, so he's in the mix for selection. So I'm not sure. I know most of our big guys have got to play multiple positions. So we've got Sean as well, who's a forward, goes into the ruck. Cruz will pinch hit forward and ruck. So Robbie's probably is the number 1 tap ruckman down at Carlton, but he's definitely. I know Mick likes him, and we're trying to use our ruckman as much as we can. But we've got 3 real quality ruckmen, so the pressure's going to be on, and if they're not performing, we'll probably there's going to be someone there to step up.
Just a quick one to Troy Menzel. How's he gone pre-season? And I know there are a few sort of injury things which held him back, but has he any chance to play this week?
I'm not sure he'd be a chance to play this week. He'd probably be a bit underdone. He's just sort of played, I think, maybe 2 half games, so I dare say he'd play a full game in the 2s this week. It's pretty exciting to watch when he is in full flight, so it's good that he's got his body in order now. So, but yeah, who knows? He could be round 2, round 3 if he turns it on in the 2s.
Okay, good luck with the new duties this year as the co-vice captain of the Carlton Football Club. Big game, of course, on Thursday night. If you want to become a member, 1300 Carlton or carltonfc.com.au to become a member today. They're aiming for 50,000 members. I tell you what, they ought to get it too. Kade, good luck.